Hello and welcome to the second episode of the post-production show. I am your host, Tyler Callahan. This is a show where I just talk about movies, Hollywood news, movies I watched, weekend box office numbers, and anything else in between. In today's episode, I'll be talking about Lionsgate and their decision on what to do with the Divergent series. I have quite a bit to say there. My review of the Legend of Tarzan movie and the weekend box office numbers are coming up. So the first topic I'm going to talk about today is Lionsgate's decision to move the Divergent series to television. Variety got an exclusive earlier this week where Lionsgate has apparently decided and is now in early talks and deals to finish it up, but they're going to move the Divergent series to TV with the last movie that's supposed to come out next summer, Ascendant, to be a television movie, and from that end the set of movies and then start a spin-off series with new characters. The idea being that this movie will finish up the previous movies, the Divergent, Ascendant, and Allegiant. I believe the last one was Allegiant, right? Yeah, that one. And then this movie will finish that up and then start a new spin-off series where they can continue on. I'm not surprised this happened, but I'm also disappointed. Fans are obviously, if you go on social media, fans are pissed, they're upset. Fans of the book who like the movies are upset. Fans who like the movies are upset, though that's probably not a big number of people. Even, I'm not a big fan of movies. I watched all three movies. I saw the last one in theaters. I didn't know it would be the last one until now, but apparently it is the last one in theaters. I thought they were okay. They're nothing special. The main thing in those movies that ruin it is the writing. The writing is not great at all. The acting is okay. They have actually a decent list of actors and actresses that they have. They're kind of like Now You See Me. They're a good time waster movie, but if you're not into it all, like the Hunger Games or like youth teen novel kind of thing, these aren't the films for you. Yeah, so I am actually disappointed that they did this, but I'm not surprised because logically it does make sense. From a business standpoint, it makes sense. Box office number wise, the series has been on a decline since the first movie. I mean, just looking at the numbers here, US-wise, it's been a complete decline. Divergent made 150, Insurgent made 130, and the last one, that came out this year, Allegiant, made less than half of that at 66 million. Less than half. And here's the thing. These are movies that come out in the spring, where there's not a lot of big competition. Worldwide, Divergent made 288. It did go up a little bit with Insurgent with 297.3 million, and then Allegiant also big drop at 179 million. So from their point of view, the audience for these movies, for this movie series at least, is declining. It really is. And by the way, they plan to plan to change it next year, and the idea was the fourth movie would be a big finale, and it's going to be so big that it deserves a summer release. And the weekend that it was be opening up, I believe it was the same weekend, it'll be opening up against the remake of The Mummy starring Tom Cruise and World War Z 2. So, one, which is a franchise, or at least the first movie a lot of people loved, and World War Z, where, it made quite a bit of money with the first one because zombies are a big hit. So, also, other movies that come out that month in June next year, if nothing gets pushed, includes Transformers 5, Wonder Woman, and I think Captain Underpants. So, Captain Underpants, not really a big movie, though I'm a personal fan of the books as a kid. Looking forward to that. The rest, though, are pretty big movies in that month. The only big movies Allegiant had to combat this month was Batman Superman, which is a completely different audience, and Zootopia, which is also kind of a bit of a different audience. This is a problem. Also, I believe, Allegiant came out before Batman Superman, and I think maybe the same week or around that Zootopia. So, besides those two big movies, it didn't have any competition, really. And you're expecting the last one of a declining franchise to go up against 4 or 5 big movies in the summer months, where we've seen this year that unless you are a big movie, you're not going to do well. You are not going to do well. You need to have solid money management, and you need to be able to use social media, push the movie well, and do well, because there have been, I'm going to talk about this later on, probably toward the end of summer, but I already have making up a topic list of some movies that did not do well this summer that should have done well. And if they strapped the budget a bit, better script and all that, they could have made a better movie, made more money, but that is a topic for another time. And then another interesting thing that has come out of this is to make this movie even worse now, since it's a TV movie, the budget is definitely getting slashed big time. Another thing is possibly none of the original actors and actresses will come back for this movie. Because people are saying if they put into the contract that the movies need to be in a theatrical release and this is not being released in theaters, then they might not be under any obligation to show up in this movie. We don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, it would have to be in a contract for it to be true, and they still might want to come back. We don't know. It's too early to tell. And even Lionsgate, apparently, the exclusive from Variety, said that they expect some of them won't come back. So they're already going into this move knowing that at least a couple of people will not come back to, play their roles again. So this is kind of going to be a clusterfuck, a little bit. This is a franchise that could have went somewhere like the Hunger Games, but it's dead. The franchise is dead. I mean, unless everything that looks like now is this fourth movie is just going to be shoved out the door just to finish off this, and then unless the spin-off series does good, which I highly doubt, this franchise is dead in the water at this point. And honestly, I thought they were going to bite the bullet, release the movie next summer, get it over with, and then make some money, or if they take a loss, it's going to be a small loss. But no, they're not even going to do that. This was quite a shocker for me this week that they were actually going to do this, because they were planning to start filming actually in a month or two, because they said they were planning to start filming in the summer. So the fact that we're over halfway through summer now and they didn't announce anything, I thought, oh, okay, so I guess the plan is still moving forward, that they're going to release the movie next summer. Nope, this is pretty late, and it looks like the movie's definitely not coming out next summer if they're still in early talks to finalize it. I believe they do have a director now, but that's it. They don't have a cast now because they need to work out deals and stuff and see who's coming back. And then past that, they need to work out what the budget size is. And the exclusive also said that they are in either early talks or actually in no talks yet to TV companies, TV studios, to see who would want the movie. Because now it's a TV movie, you need to talk to them. Maybe Netflix will want it. Maybe Apple's trying to get into original content too a little bit. They might want it. Let's be honest, they don't want it. Amazon maybe, or maybe it can go on ABC or ABC Family. I don't know, but now they have to start talking to television companies and see who wants the movie. All right, so that is my thoughts on this. Coming up next will be my review of The Legend of Tarzan. And now the next topic I will be talking about is my movie review of The Legend of Tarzan that came out a couple of weeks ago, directed by David Yates, and starring Alexander Skarsgård, Christoph Waltz, Margot Robbie, and Samuel L. Jackson. If you don't know director David Yates, probably know the movies he directed, which were the final 4 movies. Was it 4 or 5 movies of Harry Potter? Order of the Phoenix from then on were directed by him, and he will actually be directing the Harry Potter spin-off of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, coming out at the end of the year. So this is a movie from Warner Brothers about their version of Tarzan. The plot is basically, it's not an origins. The plot is that Tarzan and Jane already met. The plot of the movie is, it's not an origin story. The movie takes place after that. Tarzan and Jane have already met, fell in love and all that, and they moved out of Africa, the Congo, back to England, and then it starts there. Basically, the Prime Minister receives, something from the King of Belgium, and that they want Tarzan to go back to Africa, parade him around, because, the King of Belgium's been doing some shady stuff, and he's running out of money. So, in order to finalize his plan, he wants Tarzan to go around, stuff like that. Get some goodwill to people. Meanwhile, Tarzan doesn't want to go, however, but he does get convinced by Samuel L. Jackson, who plays as a Civil War guy from the Civil War, who goes to England on a mission for the U.S. to see what is the King of Belgium doing in Africa, because there have been rumors and sources for him in America have been saying that there is slavery, people are getting kidnapped in the dead of night and being brought to be slaves in the Congo, building and working, and so terrible stuff is happening. He convinces Tarzan to go, who did not want to go, because it is his home and he wants to see, is this true or not? And Jane convinces Tarzan to also go as well, because it's her home as well. So the main group now is Samuel L. Jackson's character, which is George Washington George Washington Williams. Tarzan and Jane, they go to Africa to see what's happening. Meanwhile, Christoph Waltz is the King of Belgium's right-hand man, and he's the one orchestrating everything, trying to get Tarzan where he needs to be so he can get the money the King of Belgium needs to finalize the control of the Congo overall. Samuel L. Jackson is actually one of the best parts of the movie. This is a much darker, serious, I wouldn't say darker, but more serious tone. There are some, jokes in here and there and stuff like that, and Samuel L. Jackson is most of the jokes. There are some other jokes there, but most of the jokes or funny bits in the movies have Samuel L. Jackson involved in it. But yeah, this is not like the Disney version where it's like, kid friendly and all that. This is a little bit more grown up version of Tarzan. I feel kids, I'd say like maybe 8 to 10 and up, definitely at least 8, if not preferably 10 and up, can see this. Because it's also not animated too. It is lifelike, so you have the gorillas and all that. Very lifelike. And could be at times scary for smaller kids. Just a heads up for any parents thinking of bringing their kids to this movie. Alexander Skarsgård plays, I feel like, a very good Tarzan. Like, he definitely has the look of Tarzan. There wasn't much in the writing-wise to show off his acting, so really, Tarzan just looks angry most of the time. There are a couple, he does smile a bit, stuff like that. But overall, it's not like a happy-go-lucky Tarzan that swings around and has fun. It's like, he's there to do what he has to do, and he is serious about it. He doesn't really fuck around. Meanwhile, Margot Robbie plays a very good Jane, who is not a damsel in distress. Like, she is given stuff to do. She does play kind of an important role in the movie, which is nice. It's not just, she gets kidnapped and then Tarzan's got to save her and how is he going to do it and stuff like that, and Jane just has to sit there and wait. It's like, no, not actually. She actually, like, when she can, she goes out and does stuff. And there's actually character development with her, as it's not just the person that Tarzan meets, falls in love with, and all that. It's like, she has her own history on the in the Congo as well. The people that she was raised by, you get to see them, and like, it's cool to see how she lived there as well. Because obviously Tarzan, he lived with the gorillas. He lives in the jungle part of the Congo. We all know that. But in this version, we see how Jane lived also in the Congo and how they met, which is really nice. I did like that. The directing is pretty good. Definitely some really nice, like, they use the setting really well for like wide shots before we're going right where they are. The wide shots are really, really good looking. Good enough to, like, they could be wallpaper really on a computer or a tablet or anything. They're just great to look at. One issue I had with the camera work specifically is the real close-up shots. That if you watch the movie, you'll see it. They do a lot of times close-up shots, not like just face-wise, but like up to the nose, up to the eyes of the face. And then I don't know if this is a David Yates kind of thing, because I didn't really notice this in Harry Potter movies, but I don't know, I thought it was a bit, I got used to it, but at first seeing it, I was like, but when I started seeing it, it was a bit odd to see. My main problem with the movie is it was fun to watch, and it was a good time to see, but I don't know, it's just, there is character development, the camera works pretty good, script is solid, it just didn't really excite me as much. I don't know how to put it. I would say, I don't know, it just didn't, because for me, Tarzan isn't really interesting, like I'm not a big Tarzan fan. So this movie didn't sell me on the fact that, wow, Tarzan is amazing. He can do great things. And I'd love to watch more movies of Tarzan. I would probably watch a sequel of this. But, like, the books or the animated movie from Disney, stuff like that, like, it doesn't make me want to go out, read the books of Tarzan, or watch the animated movie of Tarzan, or anything else. If there's a sequel to this, I'll probably watch it. But that's it. It doesn't get you into the lore of Tarzan and all that. It's a good, solid movie. If you think this movie will get you interested in Tarzan, I would say probably not. I would probably watch it again too, and I do plan on buying it on Blu-ray when it comes out if there's a special edition. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for it on sale. So I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's a solid 7 out of 10 because there's decent writing, there's pretty good acting, great camera work for the most part besides that really weird close-up. and I feel it was a good time, especially when I first saw the first trailer like months ago. I was like, what is this? Why are they doing this? And this looks kind of weird. Like, I didn't hate it, but I was like, okay, this is really odd. But, you know, I went into it the more I saw it, and I was like, okay, I'll go see it. And I felt I had a decent time. I had a good time. I didn't feel like my money was wasted. So, 7 out of 10 for the movie. And then, viewing-wise, I would say buy it on Blu-ray on sale. Yeah, I would say on sale. Yeah, because this is, especially if they release a 4K version of this, the 4K version of this should be beautiful to look at. On a nice 4K TV, this would be absolutely beautiful to watch on it. So, it's a movie that I feel like if the transfer, obviously, to 4K is good, if Warner Bros. Does a good job, this would be a movie you show to your friends. They come over, it's like, why should I get 4K? Put in this movie, show, like, the wide shots, the wide angles, is like, boom, this is why you should watch it on 4K. This is why you should have 4K, because it looks amazing. So that is my review for The Legend of Tarzan. And coming up, I will be talking about the weekend box office numbers. Then now, for the weekend box office numbers, coming in first place for the second time now in 2 weeks, The Secret Life of Pets made $50.8 million. It now has a domestic total of $203 million total. Coming in at second place is the new movie Ghostbusters, coming in at $46 million, a little bit below expectations. A decent start, but not a great start that Sony was looking for. In third place, The Legend of Tarzan came in with $11.4 million and now has $103.3 total. Coming in at fourth place, Finding Dory, starting to slow down a little bit, making $11.2 million, with the domestic total now at $445.7 million. And coming in at fifth place, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates made $7.6 million, with the total now of $31.4 million. And that is the weekend box office numbers for you. The next weekend box office will have the big movie being Star Trek Beyond, and small budget indie film, not indie, but small budget film, horror film, Lights Out, I believe, and then the fifth Ice Age movie. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens, because obviously Star Trek, big movie, Ice Age is big, kids love it. International wise, people love Ice Age movies. And then the Lights Out, obviously, if it's done right, the small budget horror films can make bank. Paranormal Activity is proof of that. So I'm thinking that they are hoping that, you know, it takes off and, you know, makes money for them, because I believe the budget's only like $4 or $5 million. It is a low budget, but that's the point. Low budget, high reward. So that's about it for the show. I am your host, Tyler Callahan. You've been listening to the post-production show, and see you next time.